Sup YouTube, it's TCG here and welcome back to another TCG video on my channel. Today we're going to be doing a meta forecast. I created a meta forecast for the World Championships and I'm very curious to see if I will be right. The World Championships is actually in 3 weeks time, so not too much time left to prepare. I have trained a lot with all of these decks and I personally think these are going to be my top 5 picks for Worlds. If you want to see some deck lists, I also made some Shrouded Fable deck list videos already. Be sure to check those out. They will be in the description. But first of all, if you are new to the channel, be sure to, of course, hit that subscribe button. You're gonna get more Pokemon TCG content coming your way. And be sure to hit that little notification bell so you're staying up to date instantly when a new video hits the channel. And if you like what you see, feel free to leave a like. So with that being said, Shrouded Fable will be the new set for the Pokemon TCG World Championships. I made a lot of content on Shrouded Fable already. The reason why I'm made the content really early on is that I'm actually leaving this week already to go to Hawaii. I'm gonna be exploring all the islands and it's going to be one hell of a trip with my best friends, and it's gonna be a great experience. What we're gonna be showcasing today is my meta forecast. So if you are actually attending Worlds, you definitely need to at least have played against some of these decks. Preferably all of these decks, because I think these are going to be the 5 decks that are going to be performing the best. So in chronological order, we're going to be talking about Charizard Dusknoir first. I think my numbers might be wrong. For sure, the placements of specific decks can be flipped around left and right. Some decks it can come out of nowhere, for example, like Chimpao and other decks. Lost Box could even perform better than I anticipated, but there's still like room for some other decks to be played. I think like there's gonna be 36% of other decks. This is just gonna be the number 1 page that you're going to be seeing when you're looking at the stream at the World Championships. These will be the decks that you most likely will see. And we're going to talk about all of them and then about some rogue decks like that could also do well, or just picks that are not that popular just because of the structure. Think about something like Snorlax Block, for example. Will people respect that? Who knows? I am very curious for sure. And I also want to hear your opinion in the comments, which deck you personally will think that will win the World Championships. Let's talk about the first deck on the list, Charizard Dusknoir. I think this deck will be around a lot. If you take a look at it, I predict it to be around 17%, around 157 Charizard decks. That's just my prediction. So these are not exact numbers. I am not coming from the future to tell you what the meta is, but I'm just gonna be showcasing you what is gonna be popular and what is gonna be good, so you guys can take that into account. Also, the numbers that I studied here is like 928 Masters. That could be way higher, but I think Hawaii is like kind of an exclusive World Championship experience, as it is super pricey to go and there, and the accommodation as well is not cheap at all. So let's just talk about Charizard Dusknoir. So what do we see here is that Charizard gained a new friend in the form of Dusknoir and Dusclops from, of course, the Shrouded Fable set. They can blow themselves up and then you give up a prize card. Dusknoir actually puts 13 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon if you knock it out. Dusclops puts 5 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. The cool thing is that you can actually have some crazy math going around with Charizard, which can now be the aggressor. You can now turn 2, blow up a Dusclops, and out of nowhere Charizard can knock out any basic Pokemon in existence. Not only do you fall behind with stuff like Counter Catcher in the deck and Defiance Band, it's actually a great thing. So I tested this deck out a lot, and has been turns where you can do a crazy 3-prize turn swoop with Charizard and Dusknoir pulling together, sometimes even with Vacuum getting more prizes in the process, which is kind of crazy. You have the consistency in the form of Quick Surge of Pidgeot EX, and also a new card gaining, the Charizard deck is gaining, is going to be Fezandipiti. Will it be better than Bibarel? In my opinion, yes, because it's easy, Nest Ball or Ultra Ball searchable to have some additional draw power on the turn you need it most. Definitely in the late game it can be really great. You also have game positions where you can go Unfair Stamp and use the Dusknoir to get rid of the opponent's draw power. For example, the Bibarel on field, get rid of it while attacking with Charizard on the active. While using Unfair Stamp, you can swoop up entire fields, and that's why I personally think Charizard will be the most played deck at the Pokemon TCG World Championships. Charizard has always been great. And in my opinion, with the help of Dusknoir, it can do all sorts of things. I won't be surprised if Thor Dracula showed up with a very spicy Charizard EX build. So that's my number one pick. If you want to go to Worlds, you at least have to face one or maybe even two Charizard during your run. It's going to be 6 battles you need to win from the 8 matches. So good luck for everyone attending. Also, this will be taken into account if you're playing some tournaments over on the same weekend as Worlds, maybe a League Challenge or League Cup. These will also be the most popular decks in the room. Next up is going to be Regidrago VSTAR. It has already performed at NAIC, but now it gains some new partners in the form of Kyurem as well as Haxorus. Also some cards that are to be thrown into this list is Nightly Stretcher as well as, of course, the Fezandipiti EX, which you could see played in literally any deck out there. What can we say about Regidrago VSTAR that hasn't been said already? If you have questions about all of these decks, I made deck list videos for all of these, so be sure to check that video out first. And if you still have questions, feel free to let me know in the comments. Also, I have been asked by like beginning players out there that it's sometimes a little bit difficult to understand, but this is a video purely for the people that are attending the World Championships, so you have a little bit of an understanding of what to expect. Okay, Regidrago VSTAR. As mentioned, the Kyurem is there. Kyurem can actually slap 110 damage to 3 targets. With the help of Cologne in this list and sometimes Prime Catcher or just a well-timed Bossasaurus, you can swoop up an entire field. Not only that, because of the existence of Kyurem, Lost Box players might be hesitant to just show up with the Lost Box deck, in general. Maybe just swap to another deck. And that's what happens here with Regidrago. Regidrago has the terms to just swoop entire fields because of Kyurem. It can use the powerful attack of Dragapult EX, sometimes even faster than a Dragapult EX deck itself. And with the help of the Legacy Star, with Research and all that, sometimes with Cleffa, sometimes with Squawkabilly, you just draw your deck almost and definitely with the help of Teal Mask, Ogerpon, and the Teal Dances. The only thing you need to worry about is your amount of E-switches. And Kyurem does also state that you need to discard all your energy. So pretty much the thing is that Regidrago VSTAR uses an attack from a Dragon-type Pokemon that is in the discard pile. Whether you put stuff in there like a Raging Bolt or stuff like a Dragapult EX or a Haxorus. Also a new card from Shrouded Fable, by the way. Haxorus allowing you to slap that 220 or is it 230 damage output, as well as going for that one shot if the opponent has a special energy. Personally, it is a very nice deck against Lugia, but you would also need to play something like a Temple, otherwise the missed energy will definitely ruin your day. I think this deck is really great. It has all the options available. Even a Hisuian Goodra could be thrown into the list. You could flip-flop between some Prime Catcher or Scoop Up Cologne. If you want to actually beat Raging Bolt, then probably should go for a Scoop Up Cyclone, maybe on top of playing something like, for example, a Penny or a Turo. That's going to help you out for a lone board state, and then you also have the Noivern attack with the Covered Flight, being immune from basic Pokemon, and poof, you win the game. So Regidrago, all the answers in the world, and that's why it is very flexible indeed. Next up is going to be Lugia VSTAR. It's still in my number 3 slot here. Lugia is just that powerful. I think people will grab back to the rats, aka the Chinchinos, in the list to make sure you have a better out against Regidrago VSTAR and Charizard being the most popular decks in the room. If you are able to, of course, use Summoning Star on the second turn by summoning 2 Archetypes instantly on your field, the deck almost feels unstoppable. The only enemy for Lugia VSTAR is itself. Sometimes you do have those starts where you start Blood Moon Ursaluna and 6 energies. Nothing to do about that. Luckily, you're in a best of 3 format, and I think this is going to be a very fast deck because it just plays from the board. It doesn't mind hand disruption because of gift energy. Legacy energy allows you to attack with stuff like, for example, Iron Hands EX, but also the Wellspring Ogerpon EX is sometimes shown in Lugia VSTAR decks as a surprise, but also could use the Sop attack to trap opponents that are not playing switch outs, which is very great indeed. Other attackers in the list is Blood Moon Ursaluna for if you're running low on energies. There's also the capabilities of attacking with Lumineon because of legacy energy. And of course, Lugia itself with the Tempest Dive, very strong as well. So I think with the help of Chinchino, you can hit the perfect numbers. One-shotting a Regidrago VSTAR, one-shotting Charizards, and that's why I think they are mandatory. I personally would be playing only 70 HP Minchinos because 60 HP Minchinos are actually a kind of a liability if you're up against like double Monkey Dory plays, or for example, a Dragapult EX with the Phantom Dive. could actually cause some trouble. So Lugia VSTAR, very great deck, but is its own worst enemy, and sometimes people that are going to Worlds, I don't know what to play, this could be a deck for you. On the other hand, you just have to, it's a casino, right? You just play with some capturing aromas, and sometimes it doesn't go your way, sometimes it does go your way. Yeah, one of my former teammates, Carl, also made top 12, actually 12th place at the World Championships with Lugia. That was actually with a single strike build, but you know here that Lugia can always surprise people, because if people do not respect it, if they're not playing Enhanced Hammer, if they are actually playing no cards to just deal with Lugia, like Temple of Sinnoh, for example, you can just run away with the game. I just wonder how popular Miraidon will be, because Miraidon's the only thing that can stop Lugia. Also Lost Box with the Iron Thorns. Iron Thorns can shut down Lugia, so people could hard attack against Lugia, people could just forget about Lugia altogether, and then Lugia runs away with the game. It's all coming down to this. Then my number 4 pick is going to be Raging Bolt EX. It's going to be noted here is that you don't want to tie. At the World Championships, tying is dying, and Raging Bolt is one of those decks that is very fast. Teal dances all around, Professor Sawdust Vitality, setting up your Raging Bolts and just one-shotting time and time again. This deck actually is super nice. It could sometimes struggle against a Charizard deck that knows what it's doing with help of Radiant Charizard, as well as Unfair Stand. That could be difficult. Against Regidrago VSTAR, they could be using the Noivern attack, as well as Penny and Scoop Up Cyclone, so that could also be sometimes causing a little bit of trouble. Maybe adding in Cornerstone Ogerpon EX in the list is actually not a bad idea, but the deck is fast. You can just... Oh, the opponent starts off with a lone Lugia, boom, you knock that out. Starts off with a lone Regidrago V, boom, you knock it out. So there is definitely ways that Raging Bolt is a great pick. It all comes down to if you can find those Professor Sawdust in time, or if you can find your correct energy. Sometimes that is the problem with the deck, is that you don't find Vestal or your correct energy, so you cannot attack using the Bellowing Thunder. And I think the deck can also have some room to attack against Mimikyu, because Mimikyu can actually be seen at the World Championships. There will definitely be people playing Control at Worlds, as well as Snorlax block, so Mimikyu could be around, and Mimikyu can wall off this entire deck if you're not playing the one price Sandy Shocks, or if you're not playing Cornerstone Ogerpon EX, but I'm very curious to see how that will go. So Raging Bolt, also a cool pick. I recently played a challenge with it, and I went 0-2 because the deck, I actually squawked into literally nothing, so I couldn't do anything with the deck. But on other days, it feels like a very fast and aggressive deck, and I think if you want to finish all your games in time, Raging Bolt is a deck for you. Then Dragapult EX, Pidgeot EX. There's some like believers and haters towards this deck. People are saying that the Regidrago VSTAR is the better Dragapult EX deck, but Dragapult EX has all the tools that it needs. You of course have the mid evolution that is going to be able, the Dracloak, being able to have some additional draw power. You have access to TM Evo to just set up your field manually. I also saw people doing that with the Arven strategy, getting some Dracloaks, getting some Pidgeotos, and if you, or maybe even some Zaltus, you can just get yourself going right from the get-go, and then on the following turn start using the powerful Phantom Dive. Because you're having 320 HP, it's more than of course Regidrago VSTAR's 280 HP, and you have all sorts of attacks you can include into this list, including stuff like Radiant Zard. Some people test out stuff with the Radiant Alakazam. You have the new Upper Energy. Sometimes Unfair Stamp is better. So there's a lot of things you could do with a list like this. And because you have Quick Search, because you have, of course, the ability of Dracloak, I think it's one of the decks that, if it sets up, it's very scary to deal with. Charizard could even take a run from his money, because Dragapult can sometimes do some surprising things. Then the last one on the list for me personally is going to be Gardevoir on the top 6 here. Still managing to be on the front page of the World Championships here by 5%. I think Gardevoir dropped off quite a bit from NAIC, but it's going to be taking the more skillful players and the true believers of Gardevoir to be able to, of course, take it all home here. Gardevoir is inherently a very strong deck. Might people grab back towards a couple of rare candies and maybe playing the double Monkey Dory, so you can actually get off with Adrena Brain and the Miracle Force attack of Gardevoir EX to hit perfect 220 numbers on, of course, the second turn. That's a little bit more aggressive than you might imagine, but that's also a capability. Maybe people will grab towards something like a Banette EX into their list to make sure you can slow down rare candy based decks, because there's a ton of them out there, even though that's also a little bit on the rogue category. I don't know what's gonna happen with Gardevoir. Does it need to develop a little bit left and right? I have no idea, but it actually is caught in the crossfire by the popularity of Regidrago VSTAR and of course Dusknoir now being in the Charizard deck, and that causes the deck actually to take 4 prize cards against Gardevoir. So vacuum into Dusknoir into counter catcher KO Gardevoir EX is a 4 prize turn for Charizard, and that's what keeps people awake in the middle of the night. Is Gardevoir still good? I think it'll have to adapt maybe a streamlined version. A streamlined version can still do the trick because you have all sorts of things. Flutter Mane, a fantastic card to use, definitely if you're up against like I would say a Lugia in the active position that wants the summoning star and cannot get out of the active position. That's also fantastic. There's also the capabilities of using Klefki to shut down the entire Raging Bull deck, or even Regidrago deck to slow them down. Very strong indeed, the Klefki. There's even Mimikyu to wall off against specific other archetypes. All of these powerful psychic type Pokemon find room in the Gardevoir EX deck. You also have access to Bravery Charm, and don't forget, with stuff like Unfair Stamp, Counter Catcher, Screamtail, you can still win games that you thought were unwinnable. You just have to be careful of the fact that if you Unfair Stamp people, they might just throw down that Fezandipiti EX to ruin your hand disruption. So lots of challenges for Gardevoir up in this World Championships, but with a lot of talented, skillful players out there in the world, I think it will still make a dent in the format. So these are going to be the picks that I personally, I'm actually taking most of these decks with me to Worlds. Still haven't decided which one I'll be picking from one of these, but it's definitely going to be one of these, unless I come up with a very funky rogue deck that beats literally everything that is currently shown on the list. Let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed the video by destroying the hell out of the like button, and let me know which deck you personally would put time in with the next season, or that you think will win the World Championships. Is this meta predictions gonna be outdated very quickly, or am I gonna be right on the money and this will be something close to it? I am very curious to see the meta forecast spread when Worlds actually starts on August 16. I'll be there. If you're there as well, be sure to come and say hi, and we're gonna be taking some pictures left and right. It's gonna be fantastic. Don't be afraid to come and say hi. I wish you all a very wonderful summer, and this will probably one, if not the last video I'll be recording for a while, because I'll be at Hawaii, but there's definitely gonna be some updates and posts on the socials, so definitely check them out. There, of course, I'm on X, the previous Twitter. I am on Facebook, Instagram, a little bit on TikTok as well. So you can find me across all these social media platforms that are popular. And also want to give my sponsors a big shout out. They are on the screen right now. If you are looking for sleeves, binders, or deck boxes, definitely head over to dragonshield.com, where you're going to be able to buy and sell cards. You can actually buy sleeves, binders, deck boxes with 5% off. So definitely take a look at Dragon Shield. Stock up on some new product for the new season. There's your playmat to create your own unique custom playmat. PokeTownStore.com for your TCG Live code card needs. You can get 5% off as well. They will have Shrouded Fable up on stock shortly. And there's CARDMARKET.com for European players to buy and sell cards to people all across Europe. Thank you all for watching today's upload, and I'll see you guys soon with more Pokemon TCG content. Thanks for watching. Peace.